Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. Good morning from Nairobi. Sub-Saharan Africa on February the 18th, 28 European Union foreign ministers will meet in Brussels to answer the same question they've faced every year since 2002. What should we do about Zimbabwe? After the recent weeks of state-directed violence and repression in Zimbabwe, this year's decision will be another stern test for the credibility of the EU's response. In truth, 17 years of restrictive measures on Zimbabwe have provided a tough lesson in the limits of the EU's influence and global reach. Put simply, the EU is nursing a failed Zimbabwe policy in the absence of better alternatives. It must now decide how much confidence it has in its restrictive measures policy and whether it is time to re-explore more imaginative options to pursue in parallel. I think, as I wrote on the 21st of January, that Zimbabwe is at a tipping point. South African all-share up 3.48% year to date. Dollar versus Rand, we're now sort of coming off those very high levels we saw in the Rand, and I think near term we go to about 13.80. Egyptian pound, 17.5987. Nigerian all-share down 1.94% year to date. Ghana Stock Exchange down 3.34% year to date. Zambia, the finance minister's targeting an IMF financial package by year end, but she's been saying this endlessly in a Groundhog Day type of pronouncement. Securing a financial package and has taken the necessary steps to ensure the Southern African nation qualifies for support. I would want to see a program with the IMF. I think it would be good for us. That is why we put in place various measures to ensure that we have a way forward that is sustainable debt-wise. Zambia's efforts since 2016 to secure a $1.3 billion loan from the IMF have been stalled by concerns over its borrowing plans. The yield on the government's $1 billion of notes maturing in 2024 has dropped 275 basis points, but that's more to do with the generalized rally we've seen since the start of the year. But it's still at 13.02% in dollars. Its spread over US treasuries remains the highest in emerging markets among countries that aren't in default. The minister expects Zambia's economy to grow at least 4% this year. Industries being targeted for growth include mining, energy, and agriculture. Uganda has shut its main independent news website, the Daily Monitor. It accused the newspaper's parent company, Monitor Publications, of providing an online news service illegally. They'd reported last month on a witch doctor who alleged that almost 30 years ago, Kadaga had used the traditional healer's services to boost her political career, but had never paid him the agreed fee. According to Bossa, Kadaga's office filed a complaint alleging that the Daily Monitor had published fake news about her, with the matter being investigated under a colonial-era defamation statute. Rwanda has signed a $400 million deal to produce methane gas from Lake Kivu, otherwise known as the Killer Lake. Lake Kivu emits such dense clouds of methane, it's known as one of Africa's killer lakes. The project by Gasmeth Energy is a 7-year deal. Rwanda already has 2 companies that extract gas from Lake Kivu to power electricity plants. We expect to have affordable gas which is environmentally friendly. We expect that people can use gas instead of charcoal. The same with industries like tea factories. Instead of using firewood, they use gas as part of our green agenda. Claire Akamanzi. Moving on, President Felix Tshisekedi arrived in Nairobi for bilateral talks with President Kenyatta. And President Kenyatta was the only head of state to attend his inauguration. So obviously, it's a quid pro quo. Nairobi all-share up an incredible 14.12% year to date, when I'm certain this is probably the best opening to any year ever, but I'll ask Bloomberg to have a look at that. As I wrote in January, it's the Nairobi Securities Exchange is open 2019, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Have a look at the performance of various stocks. NIC leading. NSE 20 is up 7.32% this year, crossed 3,000 a couple of sessions ago. So we've really got a strong market here, which is good news after what was an annus horribilis last year. And actually, in my last article, I said We're going to turn the page and it's going to be an annus mirabilis, and certainly it's been an annus mirabilis to start with. Thank you for stopping by.